Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 632, 632, Tuesday, December the 11th, 2018. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I get to begin on the news of the day, I just want to give my thoughts. Hoping you all out there in North Carolina are doing okay. I know pretty bad snowstorm. A lot of people there out of power. I'm sure it's pretty cold because it's snowing. And of course, both North Carolina and South Carolina had all the flooding as a result of the hurricanes. And so it's been a pretty tough last several months for people there in North South Carolina. Got a lot of subscribers from North and South Carolina. Of course, the lovely and talented Mara is there in North Carolina, although she may have headed to New Jersey to hang out with the folks for a while. That would probably be a good idea. But hopefully you guys are doing well, and hopefully your power's on. If it's not, I hope you have got somewhere you can go that's warm and safe. And so I just wish all of you well in North Carolina, and even I guess to some extent South Carolina, but mostly North Carolina seems to be where the storm is hitting. So certainly hope you guys are doing all right, and I wish you all well. Okay, let's get to it here. Well, as most of you saw, that if you could sit through the, I guess it was what, 12, 13-minute long speech by Macron. He gave a televised address attempting to calm down the anger. He has declared a social and economic state of emergency. Actually, I think the Yellow Vest did that already, but there you go. Macron has made a plea to stop the Yellow Vest protests by offering a special year-end bonus. And what's the year-end bonus? He's going to force employers to pay people bonuses. I'm sure the employers who are hurting already will love that idea. So his plan, he's got a plan for how he's going to address the situation, and it would include the following. Number one, increasing the minimum wage by 100 euros. He's going to offer a tax exemption for people on overtime pay. In France, that's anything over 35 hours is considered overtime. They used to have like a 4-day work week. I don't know if they still have that, but it's 35 hours a week is considered full-time in France, and I think they retire when they're like 55 or something. He says he will not raise taxes on pensioners with an income of less than 2,000 euros a month. Everybody else, they're getting taxed to death. Now, this is all coming after the police and the military tried to crush the uprising. Many of you have seen the videos. You know what I'm talking about. So what are the problems with Macron, besides the fact that really it doesn't address the main issue, which is they just don't like him? It's really personal at this point. They don't like him. What they wanted to hear him say is, I'm resigning. He didn't say that. He's sticking around for more fun. So the first problem, again, is that the Yellow Vest, for these people, their decision is made. They weren't interested in hearing about any of his plans. They weren't interested in hearing him say he's going to resign. So the very first demand that they have, he did not meet. They want Macron gone. It's personal. The next problem is, how is Macron going to pay for these tax cuts or reversals of tax increases? How's he going to pay for that? Who is going to pay for that? French businesses will be the ones. And then what happens when you lob these taxes onto French businesses? Well, they go out of business. It's a death spiral, is what it is. The next problem he's got is, will the EU even approve this plan? Remember, the EU has to approve what you do in your country now. If you're in the Eurozone, you think the technocrats in Brussels are going to allow Macron to cut these taxes? We'll see. The next problem that Macron has is that the Yellow Vest protest is an organic uprising for the most part. There are no leaders. There's no one to negotiate any terms with. There's no one to call off the dogs. And they have no counter proposal. They just want Macron gone. And they want to have a damn revolution. There is no clear alternative that the protesters can agree on. They are all over the map. Many of these protesters, if you've watched the interviews, think that they are being exploited by capitalism. They think that what they have is capitalism. I wonder who put that in their heads. They want more socialism. Not only that, many of these people on the street are calling for a wealth tax. A wealth tax. I told you. Leftism is in their blood. It's the knee-jerk reaction to the leftist. Tax the rich. And then you got to define rich. And when you start defining rich as a socialist, it's anyone that has more than you got, including the guy who provided you with your job. That's the people they want to kill. That's right. That's exactly what they want. So, the question now is, who can save the French from the French? Who can save the French from themselves? Oh, that's usually where a big government Marxist comes in, isn't it? But that's what they have now. And it doesn't appear to be working, does it? A European reporter described Macron's speech as somber, grave, apologetic, as far as the tone is concerned. And of course, he threw out the typical examples, the symbolism and all that kind of stuff that all politicians do. It's not going to work, okay? Nothing he said or nothing he offered is going to stop the yellow vests or stop the protest. And they're not just in Paris, they're all over the country. And if I were a European right now, especially if I were a European living in the United Kingdom, I would invest in yellow vests. This is not going to stop anything. They have no solutions. The Macron government doesn't have any solutions. These are not real solutions. And they're not good solutions. Because ultimately, he cannot come out and announce these tax reductions or repealing these taxes when he has no way to pay for them. Remember, they don't have a growing, booming economy with a surplus. They have an economy that's near shrinking. The last 2 quarters, 0.2 and 0.4 growth. I don't know that France has had more than 1.5% growth in 10 years. Who knows? They have some of the highest taxes in all of Europe. The most regulations, the most restrictions, the most brutal environmental regulations. It's nearly impossible for French businesses to even survive in the environment that they're in. That's why they have it's 10.9% unemployment. At the same time, the country is being overrun by migrants. Their entire culture is shifting right underneath their feet. There are so many things wrong. So many things that are going in the wrong direction. And I would have hope. I would have hope if the people were calling for the right solutions. But they're not. And there's no organized voice on the other side. I just don't see anything there. I see no light whatsoever. Nothing but heat. All heat and no light. And that's not good. So my feelings are that Macron's speech is too little too late. It doesn't address the real issues. He really doesn't have a plan. The opposition doesn't have a plan. The EU certainly doesn't have a plan other than to send the EU army in on the streets of France to put down the riots. That's all they're going to get from the EU. Taxing the rich, go ahead. There won't be any rich left in France. They'll go somewhere else. They'll close up their businesses and leave. And then what have you got? My friends, I don't see a solution here. I see a lot of pain. see a lot of suffering, and I don't know how it gets fixed. I really don't. It's sad. Hope that you folks in the UK are paying close attention, and I'm sure you are. You might want to look at the example of Poland, or even Italy. Sweden had a very interesting election. There's a lot of change coming to Europe. It's going to take a long time to do, and it's going to be very, very costly in terms of human suffering. That's the bottom line. That's the reality. Read history. It's not pretty. It's not pretty, and this is how it happens. Well, Mark Meadows' name is being floated as a top pick for Trump's chief of staff. I would just hate to lose Mark Meadows in the Congress. We need him in the Congress. That's the problem. I don't want to lose him in the Congress. But I'm sure he would make a pretty good chief of staff. It's a very hard job. Most chief of staffs, they last 2 years tops. You just get so burned out. I mean, you're the tip of the spear, and in the era of Trump, that is a mighty tough deal right there. I don't think Mark Meadows would turn down the job if he were offered. Most people do not turn down the president. Another name that's being floated out there is Whitaker. I'm not really sure if Whitaker's the right guy for that job. I would rather see him become the Deputy Attorney General after they fire Rodenstein, which I hope Barr fires Rodenstein. That should tell us a lot. If in the first 2 to 4 weeks of his term as Attorney General, if Barr doesn't fire Rodenstein, bad news, my friends. Bad news. He should fire Rodenstein almost immediately and go ahead and move Whitaker into that position. That's what I would like to see. Meadows as Chief of Staff would be great, except for I just don't want to lose him in the Congress. And North Carolina, I mean, they're patriots. Maybe there's another Mark Meadows who can replace him, but it's tricky. It's tricky. I don't want to lose Mark Meadows. It appears that the Denver City Council has voted 12-1 to authorize distribution of free heroin to addicts. Oh, that's right. That's how you solve that problem. Give the heroin addicts free heroin. And you can see the same type of thinking in Oregon, particularly Portland. You see it in Seattle. You see it in San Francisco. Anywhere you look where the leftists are taking over, it's almost like they want to destroy these states. They want to destroy these cities. They must. No rational, logical, reasonable individual with a lick of intelligence would think this is a good idea. You have pictures. Have you seen the video in Portland? Cops standing down, letting Antifa literally walk out into traffic and assault people while they stand by and do nothing but watch? Could you be a cop in Portland? I couldn't. I'd take off my badge. I'd quit. I'd move somewhere. If I want to be a cop, I'll move somewhere else. It's just unbelievable. But this is what's happening. I don't want America to look like France. We've been there with the French. But I'll tell you, when leftists, man, when they get a foothold, whoo, you're in trouble. That's why they must be defeated. 100% defeated. You can't get along with these people. You can't cut a deal. You can't negotiate and compromise. You must defeat these people. They're crazy. And they're dangerous. Look around. J. Edgar Comey, the former director of the Federal Bureau of I'm With Her, was with the Trump hater Nicole Wallace the other night. And in this interview, sort of, televised interview hit on Trump, Comey said that Americans must use every breath to oust Donald Trump. He didn't say vote him out of office. He didn't say defeat him in the next election. He said to oust President Trump, and he suggested that Mueller is awfully close to doing that. After he sat there in a congressional hearing and lied his ass off over and over again. I've now had a chance to read through almost all that, 80% of it. The amount of lies that he told is absolutely just unbelievable, because he believes that he'll never be held accountable for it. He and many of the other deep staters believe they can walk right into these congressional hearings and completely lie their asses off with no fear of reprisal. No fear that there'll be anything consequences. Yet, if you're a supporter of Trump, or you work in his administration, and you fail the memory test, you get indicted. It's every bit as serious as it looks, if not more. Comey's now saying that Trump wanted him to drop the Michael Flynn investigation, which he found very disturbing. It's evidence of obstruction of justice, and is what he says, that it's evidence of obstruction of justice, and he compared Trump to a mafia figure again. Well, Comey, if that is the case, then why didn't you? Then why didn't you do what Trump told you to do? Why didn't you cut Michael Flynn off the hook? Nope. And what did you have on Flynn? What did he do, Mr. Comey? Compared to the Rotten Reverend Clinton, or all those people working for you, and you yourself, J. Edgar. You are a sick SOB. This dude needs to be locked up, man. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. He's on the side of the coup plotters, I can assure you. He was deeply involved in the entire plot. Sat right there and lied. Read the transcript. Read the transcript. It's worth your time. Takes a while. You will not believe what you read. The answers he gave. You will not believe it. Well, on a lighter note, we have the Rotten Reverend Clinton attending a wedding in India over the weekend. The wedding was for the daughter of India's richest man, and she got married to the son of another Indian billionaire. The wedding cost $100 million. The bride is Isha Ambani. Of course, she's the daughter of India's richest man, whose father made his billions in oil and gas. They are also Clinton Foundation donors. The Rotten Reverend Clinton, of course, was dressed in a blue-flowered Chairman Mao-style muumuu, and of course she took Huma as her date, who was dressed like a bag lady. There you go, the Rotten Reverend. So those fools who said that she had her visa revoked, I don't know where that comes from. Guess she didn't, huh? Jerome Corsi is suing Uncle Bob the Executioner Mueller over grand jury leaks and illegal surveillance on him. He is seeking $350 million in damages. Well done, Jerry Corsi. Stay the course. Stay on it. Support him if you can. Then we have the knucklehead, John O'Brien, Mr. Potato Head, responding to a tweet that Trump sent out about this garbage that's going on in the Southern District of New York, which is hardcore anti-Trump. It may be more hardcore anti-Trump than even the Mueller investigation. That's how bad it is for these scumbags in the Southern District of New York. Totally there for the Rotten Reverend Clinton, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. You better believe it. So Trump's tweeting about this ridiculous notion that he violated some criminal law. He didn't violate any criminal law. He paid off a couple of women he may or may not have had sex with. Happens every day. Nothing illegal about that. And even if you wanted to pursue it as a civil matter, he would win the case. It's a loser, but that won't stop them. Oh no, that won't stop them from literally, in the Southern District of New York, launching an indictment against Trump, because they don't have to win the case, because it won't come up until he's out of the office. They just need it to feed the narrative. Because, hey, when it comes time for re-election, the Democrats will say, can we re-elect a president who's under indictment and who's going to be going to jail if he doesn't get re-elected? Hey, that's a hell of a good campaign storyline, don't you think? I'll have more to say about that momentarily. So we get John O'Brien, Mr. Potato Head, tweeting out to that comment Trump tweeted, and he says, whenever you send out such insane tweets, I take a great solace in knowing that you realize how much trouble you are in and how impossible it will be for you to escape American justice. Mostly, I am relieved that you will never have the opportunity to run for public office again. Notice that last part? Never have the opportunity to run for public office again. The coup is still at play, my friends. No question. So now we have Jerry Nadler. He's a complete idiot who's about to be the head of the Judicial Committee, by the way, and who says on day one they already have some odd 17, 18, 19 subpoenas ready for Trump and his family on his tax returns and everything else. Jerry Nadler says that Trump's hush money payments are an impeachable offense. Anything's an impeachable offense. Congress, did you know that Congress has a slush fund that they use to pay off people for the exact same thing? Congress has paid out $17 million in the last 10 years to people claiming that someone made unwanted sexual advances towards them, both men and women. The someones are Congress members or their staff. The money to pay them off comes from taxpayer money. It's not like the members of Congress have a slush fund that they all throw money in. No. This is taxpayer money that they use to pay off people who make allegations against members of Congress and their staff. $17 million paid out in the last 10 years that we know about. Not to mention they all probably got private deals on the side where they do the exact same thing. You know what I say, Mr. Nadler? You really think this is so important? I say, Mr. Nadler, release the names. If it's such a big deal for Trump, then why don't you release the names of the dozens and dozens and dozens of members of Congress and their staffs who've had to pay out hush money to both men and women for sexual allegations made against them. And that's not even the case here with Trump. He was just a private citizen who may or may not have had some sort of relations with these women. And he paid them hush money. Happens every day. Not illegal. Not criminal. Not even civil violation. Mr. Nadler. Let's see that list, Mr. Nadler. Wonder if you're on it. You know, one thing we did learn from Comey was that he admits to withholding information from Jeff Sessions about his meeting with Trump before Sessions recused himself. Trump did not know Sessions was going to recuse himself, but Comey did. He had inside information. Essentially, what happened here is that Comey and his deep state friends engineered Sessions' recusal so that Rodenstein could appoint Uncle Bob to take down Trump. There you go. Just another one of many attempts by the deep state to destroy Trump. And there's Comey admitting it. And we talked about this a long time ago when the Sessions recusal thing was all the rage. And I said at that time, I think there was a plot at play. I think that there was a plot. That's what I said way back then. And now here it is. Comey admitting exactly that it was a plot. The FBI got together with the DOJ. They got their lawyers and they advised Sessions, you got to step aside here. You have to recuse yourself. All part of the plan to bring in Uncle Bob to take down Trump. Comey was a part of it all. Literally sit there and admits it. Unbelievable. Well, back to the UK. It appears that Theresa May has pulled the vote off the table. It's funny. Caught this little clip where she says, that she's pulling it off the table, even though it enjoys wide support. At which point, the entire parliament broke into laughter. No, the fact is, she pulled it off the table because it would have gone down in an embarrassing defeat, an embarrassing fashion. It would have failed by at least 200 votes, including 100 votes from Tories, her own party. Would have deprived her of 100 votes. They wouldn't even go for it. So now Theresa May is going to go back to Brussels and see if she can get some more concessions. My friends, and you know what? I see this thing going very badly. Not to mention, when she did this, the pound fell like a rock. It affected markets all over the world. Just about all the markets took a nosedive after she pulled the deal off the table. Then she says she's going to go to Brussels. Everyone knows she doesn't have any support for this. What's she going to get from Brussels that she's going to come back with that's going to get her some votes? Nothing. Nothing that they'll accept. She's got her own cabinet people resigning. There's nothing there. And you know what's going to end up happening here? And she says, well, there's not going to be a second Brexit vote. Really? Yeah, I guess you don't need one now. You've already mucked it up so bad it doesn't matter. If she comes back from Brussels, which she will, and she still cannot get the deal done, now we're talking real problems. Real problems. Because they will be in a quagmire. They will not be able to get this deal done and signed. They will not be able to go this way. They will not be able to go that way. They'll literally be stuck in the middle of the road with a semi-truck bearing down on top of them. They'll have nowhere to go. They're going to be slaughtered. I mean, this thing's not going to get ironed out. I don't know what the plan is here, but if she comes back from the EU and she doesn't have something she can get past, they're in limbo. Literally in limbo. That will throw such a wrench into business and banking and commerce and everything else that you could see the UK economy just literally tank. I mean, you could see some real bad mojo. I mean, this is what they've created. Maybe this is what the EU wanted to create. Who knows? This is a bad play. It's the only play. There is no play. Because what they should have done was Brexit. Exactly what they voted for. Now look what's happened. They've tried to game this whole thing, and now look where they are. This is not good. Again, as I said earlier, if you're in the UK, invest in yellow vests. Because it's coming. It's a shame. What a shame. Nigel Farage comes out in the wake of all this and announces he's starting a new party. Well done, Nigel. Yes, you need a new party. I don't know, you got like 6 parties over there. I mean, that's good. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. But it's just another party. That'll get 10% or whatever, not enough to govern or win anything. But I'm glad he's doing it. I mean, it's a gallant effort. But Nigel Farage, if he's smart, he'll just move to the United States, become a U.S. citizen, be done with it. In fact, if you live in the UK, I'd be working on that immigration plan now. I'd be trying to become a citizen of the U.S. or, maybe even go to Poland. They're doing well, something like that. I'd be getting the hell out, man. At this point, things are not going to be going well there. I can tell you that right now. It's only going to get worse. So Farage has no name for the party he wants to create. No name at all, but he's creating a new party. So I guess I would have to ask all of you commenters here, do any of you want to make some suggestions to Nigel Farage for what he should name his new party? I'll go ahead and throw my hat in the ring. I'll make the first suggestion for what he could name his new party. I would call it the F the EU party. Join the F the EU party. That would be what I would call it. F the EU party. So I'll be looking forward to reading in the comments section to see what type of names you all can come up with for Nigel's party. I'd call it F the EU party. Now, I just want to get back to, a lot of people reading what's coming out of the media in the last 2 days about how the Southern District of New York is going to indict Trump, even though they really can't. Well, they can do an indictment, but it has to be an indictment that's postponed. They can't act on it and enforce it. It can only be used as political fodder to try to destroy Trump. And yesterday I talked about this as well, and I said, it's not. He didn't commit a crime. You could probably try to take him to civil court and have some issues with it, but he would win there too. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's only about feeding the narrative. They have to feed the narrative, and this is what I keep talking about. This is what I was talking about 2 to 3 weeks ago, when it was like the whole week. I did my video, and I begged someone who knows Trump, who's close to Trump, who may watch my videos, please tell the president that. And I understand he wants to wait for Mueller to be done with his investigation. I understand he wants to get the right people in place, and the timing is all this kind of. I understand it all. But what I'm saying is, if he does not act very soon, it's not going to matter. It's going to be over. They are going to destroy him. They will never stop. That's my message to you, Mr. President, or to anyone who can talk to the president. These people are not going to stop until you are gone and destroyed. They just don't want to see you gone. They want to destroy you. They want to destroy your family, your business, everything. They want to destroy you and send a message to anyone who might ever try to challenge the establishment again and actually win. This is not a fight you can walk away from. They started it, Mr. President. You cannot walk away from this fight, and you have got to start fighting back double-fisted. You've got to declassify that information immediately, everything. You should go on TV and have a prime time press conference and say, here is what happened, and here is what the deep state is doing. Here are the people. You're going to have to lay it out, Mr. President. Lay it out, and you've got to drop it all. Why do you care if the Brits and the Australians are embarrassed if you declassify this information, showing that they were involved in a coup plot against you? What do you care? They were trying to destroy you, and they're going to continue to try and destroy you. If the Australians and the British government and intelligence agencies, if they came across a plot tomorrow to destroy you again, they would do it again. You've got to engage, Mr. President. Everything you've got. The deep state's dropping everything they got on you. They're trying to destroy you every day. You don't have time. You must declassify everything. You must address the country and say, this is what is going on. I committed a sin by winning the election, and the deep state is trying to destroy my presidency. Look at what they've done and lay it out. Lay it all out. You've got the evidence. You have the evidence, Mr. President, on your side. You've got the evidence. Maybe plan A was to wait for Mueller to end his investigation. Maybe there's something else. Maybe you need to get this guy or that guy. Man, you do not have time, Mr. President. This is the message I was sending 2-3 weeks ago. You see what they're doing now in the Southern District of New York. They do not need a crime. They'll invent one. They'll never stop. If you do not take the fight to these people, Mr. President, immediately with everything you've got and drop it all, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. This is not a game where you're going to walk away from the table with some chips in your pocket. You're either going to bust them or they're going to bust you. That's it. That's it. And it's sad. I know Trump. See, Trump has been in the business world, and he's been dealing with different types of people. But I don't think he really clearly understands how nasty the swamp is and who these people are. But people like me, I've been watching this stuff for 35 years, 40 years. I understand exactly how nasty these people are and what they will do. Watch that video clip of Dealey Plaza, Mr. President. Watch that video. There's nothing they won't do to destroy you. You better take off the gloves, Mr. President, immediately. You better fight back, man. Everything you got, drop it all, because it's all or nothing. There's going to be a clear winner and a clear loser, and you don't have much time. You don't have much time. You keep fucking around, Mr. President, you're going to be gone. You better drop everything you got. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night.